My guest is now Emmanuel Shapira. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, I want to talk to you about you organize events in this hotel. If I wanted to put a wedding on for my granddaughter, why should I do it at this hotel? What's the special thing you offer?
First of all, location. Best location actually of Jerusalem. We are the closest hotel actually to the old city, to the Jaffa Gate. Second of all, beautiful, let's say, interior design, and the architecture is breathtaking. The architect is Moshe Safdie, the well-known one, and the interior design is by Piero Lissoni. So it's a mixture of west and east. Throughout the hotel you have Jerusalem stone, which gives the warmth and let's say craft work from different parts of the world. And beside that you have really the best service, very much European, into details and very personal. And the cuisine, it's superb.
And that applies even for big events?
Basically, we have actually from small event to larger events.
What's the largest event?
Largest, I would say, maximum up to 300 people.
So you say
guests.
One of the advantages, you can't invite too many guests because we can only accommodate so many.
But on the other hand, of course, the service will be superb and very personal.
See, how would what if there was a wedding here? Where would it be?
Well, there are different varieties. I mean, and based on the requests of the guests. It could be, for example, reception in the patio where you have beautiful, let's say, herbs and of course waterfall and the ambience of the Jerusalem stone. We start with that, and of course then we enter to the ballroom, which is amazing, large and very nicely designed. And of course it's connected to the patio. That's one option. There is a possible to have the chuppah, actually the traditional, the religious part, on the roof facing the old city on the sunset, which is absolutely amazing.
I see, with David's Tower in the background. And
for example, the David's Tower, the Jaffa Gate, of course, the Sultan Pool, which is a very well-known one, and of course the Mamilla Avenue, which is, we are part of the complex. The Mamilla used to be a pool as well in the past.
Yeah, well, of course, when I first came here, it was like a bombed-out street, and what a transformation.
Absolutely.
It's really phenomenal.
Thank you.
Now, how long have you been here at this hotel? Were you here from the beginning?
I have been here actually since the last 7 months, but I'm part of basically we have two hotels, the David Citadel and ourselves, and we are planning to expand towards Europe, Amsterdam, London within the coming 1.5 years. Paris, we just signed a contract 2 weeks ago, and looking forward to coming to New York or expand towards New York and Tel Aviv as well.
Oh, so you're going to become a chain?
It's just a collection of, let's say, group of hotels. It needs to be very much very unique, very special. Each hotel will have its own heritage, or will combine with the local heritage where it's located. And combination of architecture, design, and top service. That's what we're going to offer to guests around the world.
And specialize in that. When you try to do that, it's very difficult because you have to train every staff member. It's not just this is what the hotel does. Every staff member has to reflect that.
Definitely.
Including the people who come and clean the rooms.
Absolutely.
So that's tough.
It is challenging, but definitely, I mean, since our goal, of course, is to be the best, therefore we make sure that when an employee enters the company, automatically we have a wonderful training manager that she basically makes sure that each employee is well trained from the beginning, whether it's introduction to the hotel and its guests, and of course customer service and professional trainers as well.
So when you have an event like this, say a wedding, you have the wedding, you have to have time for the rehearsal.
Absolutely.
You have to. So do you give that as separate? Oh, you're allowed to come in and have your rehearsal, and we just charge you for that. I won't ask you how much to charge because.
First of all, in general, there is basically enough time to prepare in let's say up front, with the let's say the parents and the groom and the bride, and to make sure that everything is to little detail to their satisfactory, which is that means before the event we meet a couple of times. There are tasting, of course, and searching for locations, and then of course communicating that to all parties, because the hotel also has rooms and suites, and therefore most people that are having their events here, they're also staying in the hotel guest rooms or suites. And
plus all are guests from abroad.
Correct, correct. And a lot of them are coming basically from different parts of the world, whether it's Northern America, Southern America, and Asia, whether it's Singapore, Japan, China, Australia, and
come
Europe.
Here from all over.
Absolutely, which is in South Africa. We forgot that.
What do you do the whole thing, the flowers, the whole detail?
We're
or do
coordinating. I mean, we're coordinating with different parties, which are basically helping us, helping the family, doing actually the best, the best event actually.
How many events would you have here a week?
I would say daily sometimes. We have conferences, we have daily conferences, bar mitzvahs, weddings, in launchings of products, different things which are taking place at the same time. Since we have different locations, whether it's the roof, we have the rooftop, we have the sun deck, we have the dairy restaurant, which is a beautiful view to the old city, and you have of course a beautiful terrace, which is facing the boulevard of Mamilla, as well as the old city. Then we have the convention rooms, the ballroom, the patio. So there are really lots to offer, and that's why we are able to coordinate a couple of events daily.
I see. I had no idea that it would be that busy. Now, one of the things about this hotel is there's interesting objects all over it. Tell me about, is that part of the original design to give that kind of thing? Because it's not just the usual kind of decor.
Well, there is, of course, the director of design, which her name is Yael Amir.
You have a director of design?
Director of design. She's specializing in that, and I'm sure she'll be more than delighted to answer these questions.
Oh, well, I'm going to get her to give me a tour because I mean, it's not often you have a built-in director of design. You design a hotel, and then the designer's done and leaves the hotel to you.
What is very important to us is also consistency. That means from the moment we open the hotel, we are making sure actually that the hotel stays through the eyes of the owners, through the eyes of the architect and the interior design, that everything stays, and basically we're reaching actually to the goal, which is the vision.
But how do you keep it the same?
That's the technique, of course, having a director of design that she makes, and of course we are training, again back to training, we are training the staff to make sure that each piece of art should be in its place, and of course communication is also very important. I mean, if you're moving one piece to another place, definitely make sure that everybody needs to know about that, and that's the way things are happening.
So you mean a housekeeper has to go and do the room and make sure the
pencil stands in the certain direction, or whether the number of papers, writing papers, or let's say the way the bathroom is prepared, or the curtains are basically whether they're shut or they're open, how open they are, everything really into details.
It sounds a little bit obsessive compulsive. I shouldn't say that, but because it's so beautiful. But it does sound that way. I guess
consistency, it's very important.
If you don't keep the standard high, it easily slips, I guess.
Correct. And therefore, it's very important to us, for you as a guest, when you return to us, you'll know what you're returning to, and that you will connect to something that you have experienced in the past. And therefore, consistency is very important.
So in 1 year, you've already got a number of repeat guests?
Absolutely. We have people that they came here for the 5th, 6th, and even for the 8th time.
In 1 year?
Yes. 11 months. We open June 15.
I see. Well, that's very impressive.
Thank you.
Well, but I wanted to now do this tour, so I want you to introduce me to this. What's her title?
Yael Amir.
And what's her title? She has a title?
She's Director of Design.
Director of Design. I want you to introduce me to this Director of Design. And I want to go on a tour with her, because I want to ask her about some of the things I've seen around this place.
Pleasure.
Thank you for your interview. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to get rid of you.
No, absolutely not.
I want to speak to Yael.
It was a pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Plato wrote, "No thing more excellent, nor more valuable than wine, was ever granted mankind by God. Psalm 104 states, "Wine gladdens the heart of man." Next week, we visit Israel's Flab Winery. But we do not neglect politics. We discuss Egypt and the first flowering of peace, and then the fruits of the labor of our former Canadian ambassador to Israel. Join us for First Fruits.